Thank you, David. I saw all my colleagues taking notes, a new version of Matover that we can use next Shabbat. That's wonderful. So as many of you know, I never write down my sermons. I don't use notes. But for the first time I can remember, I just did not trust myself today. The truth is that, along with all these laughs and feeling good, I'm still shaken. Since I heard the news on Saturday morning, I'm physically shaken. I don't know which state I am in, but definitely not in the right state. So I did write my message for tonight. A few weeks ago, I officiated at the funeral of an 84-year-old man, Sigmund Rothenberg. Sigmund had the unfortunate luck to be born in 1934 in Berlin to a Jewish family. When he was 8, his parents did the unthinkable, ultimate selfless act and brought him and his brother Wolfgang to a church in Belgium, asking the priest to take care of their children until they would come back to collect them, when things calmed down. They never did. The priest, Father Celis, knew that by saying yes to the request of the Rothenbergs, he was seriously risking his own life, but it didn't stop him and his housekeeper, Marie, from taking the boys in and raising them as their own. They changed the boys' names, taught them how to live and pray like devout Catholics, but every morning, the priest insisted that they will recite their Hebrew prayers so they would never forget that they were Jewish. In a testimony that Sigmund taped before his death, he said that he never felt so Jewish in his life as he did while living in the church. A little over a year ago, I was watching the hate-laden people marching with swastikas and torches outside of a synagogue in Charlottesville, South Carolina, chanting Nazi line. I had a disturbing feeling that perhaps we, American Jews, we react in a similar way to that of my grandparents and other European brothers and sisters in the early 20th century, convincing ourselves that this too shall pass. Today, as our people started burying the 11 victims of the Tree of Life Synagogue massacre, we know that things just got worse. In 10 days, we'll commemorate the 80th anniversary of Kristallnacht, the night of the shattered glasses, when 267 synagogues were destroyed, 96 Jews were murdered, 30,000 were incarcerated, and thousands of Jewish businesses and schools were torched. Is this going to be our future? I want to shout, no way! But can I honestly do that? Knowing that since Charlottesville, there was an increase of more than 50% in anti-Semitic incidents in our country. And this is not just a number, 50%. Many of our kids feel it in their schools, in their everyday life. Can I honestly say no way? When in the first 24 hours after the killing in Pittsburgh, on Instagram alone, 12,000 anti-Semitic posts were displayed, including hashtags like Jews did 9/11 and other hashtags using the number 88, which if you don't know what it means, 8 is the H is the 8th letter. HH. Hi Hitler. know your enemies, know their codes. 12,000 only on Instagram, 24 hours after this massacre. But do I have some good news? Yes, I do. Our Jewish anthem is called Hatikva, the hope, and for a good reason. You see, during the Holocaust, there were thousands of individuals like Father Silis who were willing to give up their lives to save Jews, but there were hardly any communities who had the strength to stand up to the Nazis saying, enough, this is not okay, we will not tolerate it. But luckily, here in America of the 21st century, there are thousands of those communities, and we are blessed to be among them. We are a community showing the world that the real America is as we stand together against hate. Our real America is the America of the police officers who ran straight into the line of fire to save as many worshipers as they could. Our real America is the one that money and other resources were sent to the Jewish community in Pittsburgh to help them to rebuild what hate destroyed. The Muslim community alone, who endures its own share of hate, raised over $150,000. Our real America is the country of Master Sergeant Rodi Edmonds, who, when he was ordered by the Nazi officer at the POW camp to separate the Jewish American soldiers so they will be sent to the death camps, you know what he did? He ordered more than 1,000 of his captive soldiers to step forward with him as he pronounced, "We are all Jews." This is our America. If there's one thing we need to learn from history, is that when Jews are attacked, other groups will soon fall victims to hatred. And it also works in reverse. When others are hated, be it African Americans, Muslim, LGBTQ, immigrants, the hatred will surely find its way against the Jews. My friend, we live in the greatest country with the greatest people. But as few drops of ink muddle a pool of pure water, a small group of bigots and racists who spread hate wherever they go muddle the soul of our society. We can no longer wait for things to get better. This train has long left the station. We must actively and purposely fight hate. If it's in the political arena or around the table on Thanksgiving when our brother-in-law cracks a racist joke. We just witness how quickly words of hate turn into deadly actions. My friend, as I'm looking around the room with more than 1,000 people, I can tell you I've never been so proud in my life to be part of a community. I will never take your support and love for granted. Thank you so much. May God bless us all. Amen.